So what I really did, I never really repeated a company. So I felt very proud that I can run 7 kilometers. Every year I used to learn a new skill, which I'm
Oh,
really scared. I learned salsa dancing. I learned
oh
swimming. In the
wow.
sense. So I believe I tell that to my daughter. I think all the kids should learn about how to accept failures. Important for everyone to learn about failures. So that's why I think being trying new things helped me to learn about the failures more than the successes.
And today we have with us in the studio Sanjay Tripathy, co founder and CEO of BriskPay. He is a distinguished Stanford GSB alumni, is the co-founder and CEO of BriskPay, a pioneering cross-border payment startup specializing in serving MSMEs. He is also a renowned thought leader, particularly in the digital marketing, e-commerce, fintech, and insurtech domains. He is a frequent keynote speaker at industry gatherings and startup events. And beyond his entrepreneurial pursuits, he has also thrived as a successful angel investor with investments in over 20 startups. And he joins us today on the podcast to talk about Reinvent Yourself. Sanjay, welcome to the podcast. It's such an honor to have you here with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me, Payal.
And earlier when I was talking with you, I think nobody can do more justice to this topic of reinventing yourself than you. So let's go a little bit back in time. Were you always an entrepreneur, or how did that journey just start off?
Well, I was always an original thinker, if I put it that way, in the sense I don't look at going by the convention. I always look at, there is another way to do the things, and probably
Hmm.
there's a better way to do the things. So obviously, when all of us start our journey, we don't understand what's our core strengths or what we really stand for. So what I generally do, when I look back, I realize that I take up things which are slightly unconventional in a corporate domain. Because when I started my career, there were no startups. It was like large corporates. So post
Yeah.
MBA, I joined. Then I was joined Pepsi, but every place, if I look back in my journey, I took something which normally other people are not so comfortable doing.
Hmm.
It is that uncomfortable space, be it launching a new product or believing a new product has a larger potential or believing in a unit which is not really doing well. Uh, and or like going to a completely new domain and starting doing things. So it was not conventional. If I look back, my choices are not conventional. But I always has the think that it can be done in a very different way. It can be built big, and giving those crazy numbers in the board meeting, saying that this way we can build this company, or like this can become big. Like for example, one of the example I can talk about is like digital. Early stages, nobody was believed in digital. But I launched in Reliance. I launched something called a Reliance India call. That time, you like all these WhatsApp calls were not there.
Hmm.
If you're there in US, that point of time, you might have used the product calling India through a previously. There's like physical calling cards are available. I in 2003, and I launched something called a digital calling card kind of thing. So that itself can become $100 million business within 6 months time.
Wow.
More than 3 lakh Indians use that sitting from US to call to India.
Correct.
So, that was unthinkable during that time in an Indian company. Nobody has gone there. We are all best in here in Mumbai, but selling a product which is sold in US, Canada, and UK, and a lot of those NRIs are using it. So, like that, insurance also, I started selling something like a digital insurance because my this knowledge of Reliance. So, what I really did, I never really repeated a company. I repeated an industry and
Okay.
gone to a new industry and
Hmm.
try to take my learning from that industry to a new industry. So my learning of selling a telecom calling card to selling a digital insurance came through that. And today, probably SDFC Life sells the largest
Wow.
amount of digital life insurance policy today compared to any other companies, kind of thing.
So that's been
So
quite a journey, huh? Like you've learned a lot through different industries and everything.
yeah, so I always thought, I will not sell myself cheap. And, the sense I will not sell my experience. I was very loyal,
Hmm.
to the companies I worked. So if I'm trying to build a brand or like, I mostly worked in sales and marketing. So you become very passionate and involved with that company.
Hmm.
So I don't feel like, leaving Amul joining Nestle or leaving, Pepsi joining Coke. or leaving Reliance and joining Airtel or Vodafone kind of thing.
Mm.
I always thought, this company helped me in learning something, grow, and go to the new industry
Mm.
and learn something new. Also, when you go to the new industry, you start all over again. Again, looking back, I can talk about these things. During those
Mm.
days, I was not thinking in those lines. So what happens, your learning curves really goes up because
Mm.
when you join a new company, you basically start from the scratch. For example, before
Mm.
joining insurance, I didn't know anything about insurance. So for me, for everything I have to learn, and it's not very easy because the colleagues you're dealing with. I joined on a senior management and I was to represent company in terms of NPR, and talking to the journalist. See, overnight I have to become an expert in insurance without even having spent one single year.
Yeah.
And you're talking to the guys who have spent huge amount of time in LIC and in a lot of other insurance companies. So that really helped my learning curve, helped me to learn quicker, faster, and
Mm.
also it helps me to reinvent things in those industry because it is like you are not looking at conventionally the solutions, you are looking at
Right.
unconventionally what you have learned in other places to bring it there. So that really helped me.
Wow. You also had mentioned last time when I had spoken to you that you have a lot of focus on fitness and you do some running.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit
So
about that because that itself is like, you're continuously reinventing yourself.
yeah, so like basically, as I said, I always try to remain curious, kind of thing. So unfortunately, I had a major life-threatening in my accident in 2003.
Oh,
And almost like I be hospitalized for a month. The car got completely totaled. Lucky with that survived.
my
But
God.
after a month, then I thought I should do something different, and I was always into sports and all, but I had something called asthma, which is really like breathing problem. So
Hmm.
post the accident, I thought, I need to do something which I like, which I'll be proud of myself because I felt like I've got a second life. And rather than staying scared, not driving the car, because I don't know if I think any listener come from a major accident, they
Hmm.
you'll be scared for a very long time. You'll have nightmares in the sleep because you'll keep repeating in your mind how that happened.
Hmm.
And I was not driving; I was just sitting. So it becomes that much more scary to sit also in a car. Forget about driving the car.
Hmm.
So I thought I should do something which I'll be proud of, and I always had asthma. So what I did, I did very unthinkable. My wife was working in TCS, and that's the first year, 2004, when the Mumbai Marathon was starting. So I thought, I'll run 7 kilometer. So
Wow.
when I ran 7 kilometer, and my accident was September, I just came out of the hospital in November, and this is in January.
Hmm.
So, so I felt very proud that I can run 7 kilometer. I had no idea about running, and obviously India long distance running was not available during that time. So from next year, I said, okay, let me do a half marathon, 21 kilometers. The first 21 kilometer I did almost close to 3 hours. And post that, I'm almost running 20 years. I participated in almost all Mumbai marathons. And the timing started coming little by little better. And what I realized over the time that I am actually, though I'm actually becoming older, my fitness is getting better. So I had a mantra like, fit at 40. Then I said I should be fitter at 50. And then
Wow.
I said, how the reverse transformation is actually happening. Today, probably I'm the fitness age wise, I'm the top
Hmm.
5% of my 50 plus people in the world. So,
Wow. That's
because
awesome.
Garmin gives that data so that I can quote it. So, so what happened, what I realized that, what we call as Kaizen or the micro changes, if
Yeah.
you do a long period of time, that is what Atomic Habits and all these books are based about.
Yeah.
Small changes over a long period of time give a very remarkable result. So when I look back, it is not a 1 day effort, it's a 20 years of doing those small changes, sowing yourself discipline,
Mhm.
consistency, and trying to make a better version of yourself really helped me. And then I ran the full marathon. I did ultra. Last year I did Ladakh marathon, which is supposed to be one of the toughest marathon in the world because it starts at 11,500 feet, where you're difficult to walk. You have to run a marathon is not a very easy task over there. So what I realized, once you put challenge to yourself, you can do extraordinary things. That gave me an idea to leave my corporate job, cozy corporate job, and do something which is become an entrepreneur or do
Mhm.
and learn how you can become a startup founder. I think that uh, learning or confidence came from when I actually did the full marathon. Because me, and being a person going through asthma and and accident, and if I can really do this, I believe anything can be possible in life, and that really helped me.
Absolutely. Because you are consistently, like you said, you're consistently reinventing yourself. When we use the word reinvent, and if you were to look back in time, when do you think was the last time that you actually felt you are reinventing yourself?
Well, when I believe that during when I started my career, I thought every 10 years the world is undergoing changes. Then
Hmm.
I believe it's every 5 years, and now I believe it's almost every 3 years the world is actually changing.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's my looking back, that's my idea of how the world is changing.
Hmm.
So did when I was doing very well, I was a senior leadership team in HDFC Life. It is getting listed. So I felt pretty uncomfortable because I thought, there are a lot of changes happening in the world. That's why the startups were coming up in 2017, 2018.
Hmm.
I said, let me really go and try to learn. Okay. So I quit my job. I didn't start a startup immediately. I actually went to Stanford to do my advanced management course,
Hmm.
spent some time in the valley, see that, how the startup met at least 20, 30 startup founders, started investing in startups, invested in 20 odd startups,
Hmm.
mentored a lot of startups founders kind of thing during that phase, worked with a lot of startups, more like as a consultant, or more like I created a company which to help the startups, that I get a lot of knowledge, in terms of what is actually important skill set in a startup world, what helps, and what does a corporate professional working more than 25 years need to forget to become a good startup founder. Because
Hmm.
what happens when you are in corporate, you get a lot of support, and you have got a team, you have built something, you are at a pinnacle of your career,
Hmm.
and you believe things can be done because you have the budget, you have the money, you have the brand, people know you. But when you're a startup, you have to start completely on your own. You're basically
Hmm.
two, three members. You have to do everything grounds up. It is almost like taking a house and trying to you have to
Yeah.
cook, you have to do everything. It's not
Hmm.
very easy.
Hmm.
Not many people cannot do that kind of shift, that stage of their life,
Hmm.
because you are very, very comfortable. But what
True.
it's like, what I actually I learned in my life, that when you actually take something very such crazy stuff in terms of reinventing yourself,
Yeah.
you're learning really, really good. In the sense, you learn a lot of things, and your confidence in your abilities really go up. Again,
Yeah.
it didn't happen overnight because of my running, and I was doing such stuffs in a slightly smaller, lesser riskier manner. So I thought, that both the things together, that running the distance and discipline, have taught me one thing, in the sense, if you believe in your journey, and if you're ready to, you believe in a purpose, and you put that attention and time, eventually things happen. That
Hmm.
confidence
So
is a
true.
lot bigger.
Yeah.
uh now believe, see, I believe money will come if you really believe you have a purpose, you're
Hmm.
doing the right things, and eventually you will get there. You don't have to really struggle on the day one to really reach there, and it is not going to happen in the overnight kind of
Hmm.
thing. So every day is a challenge, but you are in a much more better prepared to take the challenges.
Yeah.
uh I said, I know, if I it is better late than never. I should not have a regret of not trying this, but I
True.
went in
I
a
like
more
that,
like.
that you should not have the regret of not trying. When most of the people later on they regret, I wish I would have tried that.
Exactly. And and eventually, so I should not, it is like something like a few money kind of thing. You
Hmm.
should decide,
Hmm.
how much money is enough for you. I
Yeah.
realized that, I don't need so much money, that extra money, moving up in corporate life, doing the same job in and two more enterprises, with
Hmm.
that money I don't need. What I need is much more personal satisfaction, in the sense, whatever I want to do, if I put
Hmm.
my mind to it, I can achieve it. That used to give me a lot more satisfaction in my abilities, and my thinking, help me to learn something more. I used to put top dollar behind it, in the sense, can I learn something which I've never learned? So basically, what I also did something very interesting. Every year I used to learn a new skill, which I'm
Oh,
really scared. I learned salsa dancing, I learned
oh
swimming, in the
wow.
sense. So so in the
This is
and it is
awesome.
something. So that really opened up my mind. I realized that, we have got a lot more potential as human beings, and we have
Yeah,
not even tried 5% in our own lifetime, right? So,
absolutely.
So these are the kind of opportunities can help you to explore slightly more about yourself and the environment.
But you know what, Sanjay, I'm getting so curious now, and I'm sure our audience also would want to know. You are so busy with your professional life, plus you are doing all these things. Tell me what your day looks like. Like, how do you manage to fit in this reinventing yourself, doing these activities, and learning new skills every time? How does your day look like? What do you do to make sure your time management must be like really awesome?
Yeah, I believe something called reclaim your life, in the sense. So what happens over the years, we put in a lot of mundane things in our life again,
Mm, mm,
a
mm.
lot of introspection and reflections kind of thing. I realize that, if something is taking my time, it is a place. What I look at is like, last 1 year where I spend my time. Is it really value adding? Or looking back, can I say that, that is completely useless. I should not have done that. So what I did, I started getting up early. Like, Mumbai, if you want to run, you run. It is not like Seattle or something. You can run
Yeah,
during the lunchtime kind of thing.
true,
So you have to get up early. You have to get up at 5. And
true.
for getting at 5, no, there is no disturbance. Like, everybody in the home is sleeping, the roads are empty. I can reach at Sivaji Point early, and I can run and
Yeah.
that 2 hours I kept to myself. And from 5 to, like, and I get up at 5, go to run at 6 o'clock, come back home at 8 o'clock. So that 5 to 8 period is completely mine.
Okay.
That helps
Okay.
you that, because running doesn't and is not only about running yourself. You actually get a lot of the spiritual. Your mind gets very clear, because after, if you're
Yes.
running more than 15-20 minutes, you don't get any thoughts in your mind. You're almost
Correct.
on your own, and
Yes.
world looks moving very slow pace around you, and you can see every small thing which you generally miss when you are going in the same road in the car or something. Like, you can see a person, you can see how the beautiful sunrise happens, you can see the listen to the waves, you can listen to the
So you
sound,
do this
and
every day? Like every day you
uh,
have this
every
routine?
day, I like alternate days I go for run for the gym. So every day I do something about fitness.
Hmm.
One day,
Hmm.
Monday generally I took a off kind of thing to recover kind of thing. So that helped me to get the morning thing. So I try to go to the office early. And I try to finish up everything by 6 o'clock kind of thing. I don't never try to reach like, stay late in the office. Then I try to then, obviously, like, your children or something, like my daughter. I spend some time with my daughter.
Hmm.
Then, at home, watch some of the TV programs, and then by 10 I try to go back to sleep. So this is how generally, and I get 7 hours of sleep between 10 to 5 kind of thing. So
Okay.
that's how generally try to manage. And by after 8:39, I generally don't reply to any of the mails kind of thing.
That's so
And
nice. I can really resonate to the morning routine because every day I wake up at 5 and I will give myself 2 hours before I give it to my kids, my children, my husband. Before that, I will want my time for myself. And like you just said, I'm also in Mumbai, and that just walk on the sea face or anything is just so rejuvenating, and you're with your own self. And I think that plays wonders as you start your day.
And it also reduces your stress, because every night we go
Mm.
back in a stressful way to go to the
Yes.
bed. When you get
Yes.
up, spend time in the. I think, I'm not tell a spiritual kind of thing, but you connect with yourself, and lot of I get back in the morning when I come back from the run. A lot of things which bothered me in the last night, really I get an
Mhm.
answer. I don't know
Yeah,
how, but I somehow get.
absolutely.
So this
Absolutely.
really helped me. And and once you put a routine, that they say that, that I love that book Atomic Habit, because that
Yeah,
actually told something which I'm doing is actually, there's a science behind it. So when you
true.
get back, like, if you have a habit once, it happens automatically. Even
Correct.
if I go for a party, like, which are that some other days, some other friends will be some late night, but still I try to get up at 5 and try to go. In the sense, I don't really try to break the routine kind of thing. And long term, benefit is really really high.
Yes,
And that you start seeing the benefit after 5-10 years kind of thing, how it really
true.
helped. You don't see immediate benefit. So
I
someone to
agree.
copy habit is so difficult, because then they have to change so many things. But once you have habit, you can add lot more new things. That's why you become fitter and fitter. And let's say
Hmm.
you add a gym routine, you can add a yoga thing, you can do some mindfulness, you can add lot more things to it, and eventually you can do much better than what you are doing before.
Absolutely. I know my mom always tells me that what you do in your 30s shows up in your 50s. What you do in your 50s shows up in your 70s. So, absolutely just spot on with what you said. You also spoke about how you keep up with your challenges and everything. So, how do you overcome, because you're dealing with, investors and everything, how do you actually overcome all your negative assumptions and move ahead when everybody else is looking up to you? Like, how do you keep yourself that
Yeah.
positive and going?
I think I'll tell you something which I believe I tell that to my daughter. I think all the kids should learn about how to accept failures. The failures doesn't come naturally if you're a really good student or come from a good background. You don't see failure that often in life,
Hmm.
early stage of your life. So what happens when you see single failure or which is not a failure, which might be a retrack or some more some obstacle, you start thinking life is finished, or I cannot move forward, I
Yeah.
miss something. I think it is important for everyone to learn about failure. So that's why I think being trying new things helped me to learn about the failures more than the successes. Because look, I'll just give you. I always give that example of salsa dancing. Salsa,
Yeah.
you have to ask for a partner when you are dancing. When you are a like a just learning the dance, nobody wants to become your partner because you don't know how to dance, right? So it taught me more about failures than anything else in my life. In the sense. So it is important for you to really accept failure and don't believe that failure is a rejection of you and it is
Hmm.
rejection of my skill, not rejection of me as a person. I
Hmm.
think that distinction is much more important. If an investor is saying no to me, it is not that he's saying permanent no. He's saying no to my business plan,
Right
not to
now.
me
Yeah.
right now. He same
That's
investor
so good.
can't believe there are we are just a 2-year-old startup, but one investor has come back 5 times, and every time he says say no. He's saying no, some more days. But I
Hmm.
don't feel bad anymore with that investor. I say okay, maybe today is not okay, but he's again coming back. So as long as I
True.
am doing well, as long as I'm moving up, he'll come back again. So
Hmm.
what is important in life to understand that it's a temporary setback. It is not a permanent failure kind of thing.
Hmm.
and
That is
and
true.
that really helped me in terms of taking through the setbacks kind of thing. And the other thing is that as I said, once you need to, that reflection should help you in keeping you in good state, in the sense, if someone is saying no or multiple people are saying no, why they're saying no, what more I need to change. And lot of things are actually pointed towards us than others, rather than we always want changes in others.
Hmm.
Why that person is not changing or that investor is not saying yes. Uh, can I really start doing this thing on myself? Can I really show a change personality? Can the people believe that this person has changed? Be it in your behavior, be it in your fitness, be it in your discipline. So once you start doing that, other person will start obviously changing their behavior or the attitude or the mindset towards you. I
Hmm.
think that helped me. And again, because I did a lot of things in my positive mindset set always helped me. So it is not that I don't go through negativity, but it my past experiences convert it to positivity very quickly, saying that
That's
this
nice.
this
That's
feels
good. And
that
and I like
has
and
this
I
feels
I, I liked what you said. It's not a rejection to you personally. It's like your business plan or what you are presenting, which means you have an opportunity to make it better rather than thinking that the world has come to an end because they have said no.
and
So,
and most of the times, when you look back, you'll see that sometimes the again, it is like that book called when you think things are, there is a rejection, maybe there is a better way ahead, that's why you got rejected in that path. So like Steve Jobs said a very important thing, I always remember that line: if you look back in your life, you can connect the dots, but when the dots are happening, you cannot connect it.
mm,
So that is how, you have to believe there is a universe is trying to tell you something in some of the difficult phases, and if you listen to that, things will be definitely better.
very true. But I'm sure that you like you said, you have this morning routine. There must be something on a daily basis that you do which helps you to keep your mindset very sharp, and that helps you to keep going and keep on giving to the society and keep moving on. What are some of those types of habits or a mindset change that you usually practice, Sanjay?
Well, I am a voracious reader. Previously, I used to read a lot of books, but now with Twitter and with digital, there are a lot of information is available. It's
Yes.
important to understand and read. I really follow geopolitics a lot and try to read from all possible sources. In today's world, when it is completely biased, you'll see like always there are two type of groups. Every even in a WhatsApp groups, they're all fighting. If in the US, it's a pre or poor, for Trump against Trump. India, we know like it is like for one party against other. What we need to really understand is how you can actually collect your
Mm.
information and what is your process of filtering those information, because there are today
Mm.
it's a information heavy and it is bombarded with information. So what I do, I read a lot.
Okay.
Then I listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm driving or something. I listen to podcast, and then I form my opinion. But I never try to be opinionated in terms of giving my opinion. In terms of like when someone is asking me, I try to judge what that person is and trying
Mm.
to give a much more balanced view kind of thing. So what happens, that doesn't really. It is not like attacking someone kind of thing. I made good friends very, very quickly because I can
Oh,
understand
nice.
that person.
Uh,
POV. And at the same time, I can also place my POV because I know where he's coming from and what is the flaw in their argument. So I can really place my arguments better. I think it is important, like, I think that Dale Carnegie's book of How to Win Friends and
yeah,
Influence, I think it is still relevant.
very true.
I really spent a lot of time when I meet someone to know that person deeper. And something else I know not many people know, I can really read handwriting. So again, that's another skill I developed.
Wow,
So I
that's
can know the
awesome.
person sitting in front of me. Today, not many people write, but whenever that person writing, I can know about that person.
That's
And I can,
awesome.
yeah, so I can, really make a graphology is one of my
Yeah.
hobby. Started at a
Okay.
very early stage, and it really helps me in terms of knowing that person and having good conversation.
I think that's one of my definite key takeaways, Sanjay, that you have to know the person with whom you are talking and who he or she is. And most of us, we are so quick in this Insta world, we don't even spend time with anyone to know them. We just want to make our agenda up there. We want to get our work done, and then that's it. But in a world like this, where you can know somebody, where you can connect with somebody, I think those people are more remembered in the long run, because there's a saying, it's not what you do, it's how you made me feel that is important. And I think you're a live example of it.
No, no, I met people maybe for once in some party or some event kind of thing, and 5 years down the line when I meet that person, or 10 years
Uh,
down the line, we met like close friend. We never met for like we met yesterday
yes,
types. I
yes.
try to create that kind of impression in a person so that at the end of the day, it's like at the end of the day, even if it's a
Mm,
digital world, you get your work done through the people only. Like
very
the people
nice.
are most
Very
important,
true.
and no one is good or bad eventually. Like everybody has their
True.
viewpoint.
True. Great. So, Sanjay, what would be your advice to our listeners before we get into our leadership rapid fire round?
I think, it is important to be, like as I said, you should be a good listener and focus to be valuable rather than just successful.
Mm,
Because success metrics which you follow, like, it changes every time. So I think, that is what you have to, when you should not be at 50 changing the wrong things in life. Uh, quicker you know about your purpose in life, it really helps. I think it is important for everyone to learn
mm,
about the purpose, because that same thing I met a lot of people. I do a workshop called happiness, like I do that exercise saying that what made you happy at 20, the same thing that made you happy at 30, that made you happy at
mm.
40, and every decade has a different happiness index kind of thing. But what it means is that we are always changing something, and then we realize this is not enough, I
Mm.
should chase something. But if you connect everything through a purpose and try to be valuable to the society, to your family, to your job, to your company, and that is much more satisfying in long run rather than
Yeah,
just being successful
true.
without any purpose. And and whatever you're doing, be obsessed with it. Having a positive mindset really, really helps in a world which is constantly changing and a lot of negativity around. People look up to positive people. People
Mm.
say that I remember your smile. People say that I like meeting with you. I think it is important to be a likable
Absolutely. Yeah,
person. We understand and trying to understand the other person really helps. Everyone is going through a bad time in today's world, and it
true.
is important for the person so that they can come to you or chat with you and share their feelings with you. I think that is today is almost very, very difficult to get persons like that. So if you want to become like that, I think that is something you'll be really happy when in 20, 30 years down the line.
Very nice, because like you said, it's all about the people. And so even if you're reinventing yourself, it's so much got to do with the people around you. And I can see your focus on that, Sanjay. That's superb. So we'll move on to our next segment, which is the leadership rapid fire. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Great. So that will be something where anything that comes to your top of the mind in one word or in a very short sentence, we want to hear it from you. Yeah. So
Resilience.
a must-have leadership quality.
Resilience.
Resilience. Great. Okay. What's one thing that you wish you knew when you started your career?
It's about clarity rather than certainty. If you can early stage of your career, you think, okay, getting this job, doing an
Hmm.
MBA, getting this company. Like when I joined the Pepsi, I thought, it is it. I joined the company, which is my dream company kind of thing. So it
Hmm.
is about more about clarity in terms of, you don't have answers for everything, but you what you need to have that, what question it is worth asking,
Yeah,
rather than searching for the answers.
true. What's your personal mantra or a saying that really helps you through the day?
Run your own race.
Oh, that's superb. And which you are currently doing, not only just
Yeah.
physically out
Yeah.
there, but even at work.
Yeah, so I start my if I have to introduce myself, I say that I start it's a one line introduction. I said I drive my BMW. Or one
Oh,
line people have to remember in the sense you don't have to be conventionally following others.
yeah,
In
yeah,
world treat you to become following others, how you become unconventional, but stand for something. So that people eventually will look up to you because there are not many unconventional people around you today in the world.
true. Which superpower would Sanjay choose? Invisibility or mind reading?
I already told mind reading.
Absolutely. Yes. And you're a people person, so definitely.
No, it is always interesting to read a
Yes,
It is
yes.
so, and
And
people
you're
give
reading it
so
in
many.
different ways, huh? You're looking at handwriting, you're looking at the
Yeah,
person.
so I've got multiple. I was interested. I learned how to read a palm. I learned how to do Reiki. I learned many things, but I found handwriting is very, very accurate and very scientific.
Very
But
right.
it all I look at the all clues, try to read that person, and eventually that's what it gives you a lot of satisfaction if you read that person quickly and correctly. So I take it as
Absolutely.
a challenge when I meet someone.
I'm going to make sure that you can read my handwriting and tell me something about it.
Yeah.
What's one belief that you actually held at one point of time, but now you have outgrown it?
Well, when we start corporate career, you see all the senior leadership are very busy. You are going someone, he's not doesn't have time. Like you're basically meetings. It'll be always delayed. Even today also, if you're going to meet, he said he's very busy. Like
Hmm.
so, what I did, I think it is more important to be impactful and how to learn to do the same thing at lesser time so that you can free up your time.
Okay.
So being busy is not impactful. I think that is what I learned over a period of time, and it is about thinking deeply, choosing wisely is more important.
Hmm. Very nice. If your younger self saw you this time, what would surprise them the most?
Okay, that means I choose uncertainty over comfort. Because
Okay.
early
Okay.
stages we all look for, the society
Right.
prepares you to look for comfort. If you look at our parents used to, तू अगर ये करेगा तो ये बनेगा, अगर नहीं
Hmm.
कर रहे हो तो नहीं पढ़ोगे तो नहीं बनोगे. So
Right.
basically, the society prepares you to look for comfort by
Hmm.
doing hard work now.
Hmm.
So I actually choose uncertainty and build something from the scratch by leaving a job. I would have definitely surprised if someone would have told me at 25 or
Okay.
30.
Wow, that's so nice. And you've done it. So now you can see yourself back. If you could change one thing about the business or the corporate world, what change would you bring?
I think I think corporates are too much about like structure in terms of hierarchical structure. I think uh, I think what I need to change is that what we need to understand is if you look at younger people have so much more to offer today,
Hmm.
and how we can move from a uh, hierarchical control based structure to more trust based structure. In the
Hmm.
sense, I have got something to offer that, if in the startup world, it is very, very
Hmm.
easy to really
Hmm.
understand. 35, 25-year founder, is actually have people of 50-year-old people working on a 25-year founder. Today it is reversed, like, and I'm older, but a lot of young people are really helping us to build this company. I think the trust is very important. You can move to a trust-based leadership
Yeah.
rather than control leadership.
Very true. Wow, that was some awesome conversation, Sanjay. And I am so glad that we connected over this. You have some great insights, and I must say, you are a powerhouse of inspiration. Absolutely. So, we have so
Thank you.
much to learn from you, Sanjay. So, thank you for sharing your time and being here with us on this podcast.
Thank you, Payal. Thank you for inviting me. I hope your audience will get something new and
Oh,
something
I think they're going to
more.
be super inspired by this entire episode because I am, talking to you one on one here. I feel so inspired, and I'm looking forward to my days and making some changes in my routine after talking to you. And like you said it very correctly, that Payal, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I just loved that statement that you made. So that
Thank you
was
so much.
great. Great. And this one's for our listeners. This is Sanjay Tripathi and Payal Nanjiani wishing you loads of success in your career life. God bless.